Hello and welcome. Now today I want to talk about a subject I've seen online a lot, forums, Facebook groups and all that, and it's about cooling in a Pontiac engine. I'm talking about a traditional Pontiac engine. Of course, you can apply this to other engines. Some of this stuff I'm talking about to, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, whatever. But specifically talking about the Pontiacs today. And what I've seen a lot is my Pontiac's overheating. It's getting hot, all that good stuff, Now, right now while I'm filming this, you don't see it a lot because this time of the year that I'm filming, late fall. Now, a lot of people are driving them, and they're not getting as hot as they were as when they're in the summertime, but it's not the point. So, point is, let's discuss the overheating on a Pontiac. Now, a lot of times when I hear they're overheating, they're not. Unless you get over 220, I wouldn't worry about it. Now, I understand if you put a 180 degree thermostat in it or a 160, you don't want to get over 200. I fully understand and agree with you there. So there's also a lot of conflictions on what thermostat to run. I'm not going to get into it that on this video. I'm just going to talk about the cooler. So they're supposedly notorious for running hot. I've never had an issue. Ever. It just comes down to your setup most of the time. People say, oh, they run hot naturally. Not really. No. Now they probably ran with a 195 thermostat, probably 200, 205-ish, maybe 210 at tops. Which is not bad. 210's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Well, one thing I want to talk about first is in this book right here. Some of y'all know it, some of y'all don't. All right, so let's go to a page in here real quick. So here it is, cooling tip, page 143 of this book. And what we're talking about is the divider plate and these vanes on the pump and the clearance between them. As you'll see here, they talk about the clearance. And what you do is you take a hammer, piece of wood, and you kind of flatten this dip and close the gap. Now you strive for the range of 500 to 1/10 of an inch clearance with the gasket on there. Because that right there can affect the pumping efficiency of the water pump. So you see right here, even without a gauge, that's got a decent gap. So you would want to flatten this out a little bit. Now, while we're here, we're going to talk about this too, as well as this right here. Now, a lot of times, a lot of people, they want to use everything all original. I understand originality, all that stuff, but sometimes just don't cut it anymore. Now, this divider plate is in fairly decent shape. I could probably sandblast it. It looks like all surface rust. It would be saved. Now, if you start getting a bunch of little rusty pinholes and everything, chunk it. And same thing for our timing cover here. People want to use the original timing covers, all that good stuff. Well, Kaufman does make a new one. If you got a bunch of corrosion and pitting in there, and just get a new one. Just get a new one, all right? Especially around here, any of that. So just get a new one. Quit being that way and get a new one. These rubber seals here, make sure you replace those. All that good stuff. And that is something that is overlooked, especially the clearance between the water pump vanes and the divider plate there. Of course, technically, whenever you do all that, you should be getting some new rubber seals here. And if you're not, well, you need to. You see how those protrude, and that goes there. So you want that to seal properly. And I'll even do you the favor, I will leave a link down below where you can find a timing cover. If you're looking for one from Kaufman, just tell them I sent you. Now let's talk fan shroud radiator. Now, a lot of times I just go ahead and ditch the original radiators for aftermarket aluminum, because why not? I'm already there. I don't go for originality. Some people want it to look more original. I would say paint the side tanks black. Just call it a day. No one's really going to notice unless you're going to a concourse restoration. I get it, you have to. But that's, you know, your thing. Now, I want to show you something here on the fan shroud and clutch. Now, as you can see, about half of the fan is exposed to the shroud. And that's what you want for proper cooling. You need a shroud, and you need to have it properly spaced. Now, you can see I'm not running a fan spacer or anything because this is correct. I bought a brand new clutch, made sure it was the right fit, made sure it's properly in there so that is actually properly spaced. That's something you want to make sure of. You also want to make sure your fan shroud's not all busted up, which unfortunately I do got this little issue right here, which you can put a little glue, you know, melt it together, something. But overall, this one's not too bad on the shroud, but it's not all busted up. It's complete all the way around, so it properly cools. The shroud, with a fan like that, it'll cause the fan to pull completely through every inch of the radiator. And that is something you want to give yourself the proper cooling. Here's another example of a setup. Now, I do cruise this one around, cruise nights. Never had a problem. I do drive it to work occasionally, at least every week. You know, at least one day every week I drive it to work. So, show you the setup here. It's basically almost the same thing as the Bonneville, a little bit different. And I do live in Arkansas. It does get to, you know, triple digit weather. And I've driven this around the high 90s, low hundreds, you know, 105, 104. And this one doesn't get over 190. So, see setup here, it's kind of similar to the Bonneville. Again, kind of same setup, except I got a cold case on this one. Got the fan shroud. The fan's about the same distance. Now, this one is not as good setup as the other late model plastic ones, but it still works. But this one also doesn't have a clutch. So it's constantly cooling all the time, and it does extremely well cooling. Clutch fans are actually extremely great. I prefer them over this style, but this is what the car had. Now, the last thing I'm going to get into on the cooling and overheating issue is the one I hear that is basically, it gets warm while I'm driving and it cools off once I slow down. Now, usually, if you have a problem with your fans, radiator, water pump, maybe not necessarily the water pump, but your fans, you know, your fans aren't just pulling enough air. If you're going over 30 miles per hour, there should be enough airflow through the grills, through the radiator, to cool your vehicle. So when you're trying to determine on what is causing your car to overheat, you need to look at things like that. Well, how fast are you going? When is it overheating? Is it overheating when you're sitting still? Is it overheating while you're driving? Because obviously if things like too much timing, cause it run a little bit warmer. Now obviously everyone's always afraid of head gasket issue. Understandable. But when you upgrade to electric fans and aftermarket shrouds, there can be a problem. And it's usually, I don't really see it on, you know, the factory shroud cars like this in the Bonneville over there, because when you're going down the road, you got enough open space for air to push through. Now, there's a couple things with electric fans and shrouds. Some people run electric fans without a shroud, which, if you remember what I mentioned about the shroud, the Bonneville, it's designed to pull air through the whole thing across the whole radiator. If you just attach 2 electric fans to your radiator, you're only pulling air through those 2 spots. Not efficient enough when you're sitting still. Now, adding a shroud that's spaced off a bit where it does cause it to pull will help. Also, keep in mind when selecting electric fans, you got to think of how much air and CFM these style clutch and fixed fans pull. And honestly, I've seen a lot of varied results. But usually 2,500, some say up to 5,000 CFM of air that a clutch fan or a fixed fan can pull. Now you have to consider that when selecting electric fans. So if you're taking those off, you need to make sure you get enough CF film. Of course, a better radiator kind of compensates for some of that. But you got to make sure of that whenever you select your electric fans. Now also, when it comes to the fan shroud, and one of the common things I've seen is whenever people are driving down the highway, more or less, it's usually when it's happening, that's when their car is getting hot, and that's when they start getting concerned. Well, usually that means you don't have enough airflow, and it's getting blocked somewhere. So let me show you something. Now I'm aware that this is a Chevrolet right here, but right now it's the only one I have electric fans on. So I'm going to show you the setup on this one and explain it. Now you see I have my staggered fans and a shroud, okay? The shroud is sitting off away so the fans aren't directly up against it, so it pulls more air. Now the catch is, this shroud did not come with these louvers. And it's louvered down there too. I put the louvers in it. That shroud set up there with those electric fans did great in town driving. First time I drove it on the highway, now mind you, it didn't have the louvers, it was flat. The engine started getting hotter. It wasn't running 180 anymore, it started getting up to 200. That was 20 degrees difference, which is quite a bit from off the thermostat. That's too much, and even though it wasn't overheating, that's too far away from what the thermostat is saying to show that there's a problem. And the problem was, when that shroud was flat with no louvers in it, all it created was an air dam. And you only had a little bit to go through where the fans were, that the fans were pulling. So a louvered fan shroud on something like that, on electric fans, is probably your best bet. So it's something to look at, think about, and understand. And again, if you are going at slower speeds, let's say under 40, 35, 30, and at idles and they're at a stoplight, if you're overheating, that's when you need to look at fan speed and your water pump, make sure it's pumping correctly. Obviously the divider plate, all that good stuff. Now if you start going and it cools down, well, your water pump's working. But that probably means your fans are not officially pulling enough. And if you're driving and it gets warmer than it was, or significantly hotter than it was when you're sitting there at idle, past 30, 40 miles per hour, when you start getting up there 45, 50, then there's something stopping the airflow. Because let's be honest here, fans really only useful below 35 miles an hour for the most part, give or take. Now obviously I won't get into all the other stuff where you got thermals, non-thermal clutches, because towing trucks are a little bit different when it comes to that aspect for reasons, but we're just talking about this, keep it simple right now. So there's some few things to think of, when you're putting your water pump timing cover on your Pontiac. Check all that, make sure you get the seal, check the divider plate clearance, all that good stuff. Make sure you no rust, pinholes, no corrosion, all that good stuff. Make sure all the water passages are correct, because if you got where the water flows on the divider pump on either side, if you got holes of corrosion around that aluminum, then it's going to mess up the flow of the water. And just buy a new one. Make sure you get your rubber seals, all that good stuff. Make sure your fan is set up correctly to your fan shroud. If you got electric fans, make sure you got the right CF film and a good shroud. Make sure it's louvered or something, so that way when you are going down the highway, you don't create an air dam, all the good stuff. If you're driving and it gets hot, remember it's airflow through. If you are at idle, low speeds, it's more than likely fan, maybe your radiator isn't big enough, but something like that. Alright, there it is. A few tricks and pointers to help your cooling system on your Pontiac. So just go through a checklist, figure out what it is. Should be able to figure it out. I hope any of this information was able to help you. As always, thanks for watching.